Yo, what's up boys? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be covering something that I don't cover often, a murder case. I've done like one before, so I don't cover it often. So before I talk to you about all about the murder case, let me tell you about the serial killer behind it. The killer's name is Gerard John Schaefer. He was born in Wisconsin. The family moved, and he was pretty much raised in Atlanta by Catholic parents, stayed there up until they moved in Florida in 1960. Gerard did not have a good relationship with his father or sister because he thought his father favored his sister. In his teens, he was a creep, to say the least. He spied on a girl in his neighborhood named Leah, who he is also suspected of murdering. He also liked to do things like killing animals in his youth and also cross-dressing, the latter of which he later explained was just to avoid being drafted into the Vietnam War, which worked, I guess. After he graduated from college and getting married, he went on to teaching high school students, but then he was fired for what was described as inappropriate behavior. After that, he tried to become a priest and then failed, so he became a policeman. Another thing I got to tell you about before the murders is what is assumed to be Gerard's first failed attempt at murder in July 1972. Basically, while on patrol, Gerard picked up two teen hitchhikers and abducted them. He tied them to trees and threatened to kill them or sell them. Pretty dark stuff. Luckily, he was called on his police radio and had to leave them, but he said he would return. The teens escaped being tied to trees and made their way to the nearest police station, which happened to be the one where Gerard was working at. He then called into the station after he went back and found them missing, and he told his boss that he did something extremely dumb and kidnapped two hitchhikers and threatened to kill them only to teach them a lesson about such an irresponsible way of travel, which I don't buy. Neither did the boss. The boss fired him and had him arrested. So, now, talking about the murders. After posting bail, Gerard was released. It wasn't the best idea because just 2 months after he was let go, he abducted and killed two teenagers and buried them in Oak Hammock Park in Port St. Lucie. In between the time it took for the authorities to catch him, he also pled guilty to the abductions because of a plea bargain, which brought down his punishment to 1 case of aggravated assault, which he was sentenced for a year. After 6 months of being missing, in April 1973, the bodies of the two teens had been found, and they had been found to have been tied to a tree and abducted while hitchhiking, which sounds pretty familiar. Due to the similarities between these murders and Gerard's kidnappings from 1972, the police were able to get a search warrant to Gerard's house. In the house, they found creepy things like stories that he'd written about doing heinous crimes towards women, and they also found personal belongings for some girls that had been missing near that time period, and they also found teeth from a girl that went missing. Yeah, he was guilty. The mother of one of the girls found in Oak Hammock Park also identified Gerard as the man she saw her child last with no way to avoid being sentenced. He was given life sentences, 2 of them. After being locked up, he was also found to be linked to 30 other missing women. I just wanted to say this. He also allegedly bragged about killing 34 women, which does not help his case at all. So, of course, he tried appealing his case multiple times, but after bragging about killing people, I don't think... Yeah, he said he was framed, but he wasn't. Spoiler. And luckily, each appeal was rejected. He also tried suing people who said he was a serial killer, and he failed each time he sued the people who accused him of being a serial killer, which he was. After failing, he sent death threats to these people up until his death in 1995, I think. Was it 95? It was probably 95. Or 85, and I'm just wrong. He died in like one of those time periods, either 1985 or 1995, when he'd been found stabbed to death in his cell by a fellow inmate. So yeah, in conclusion, the fellow known as Gerard John Schaefer was a pretty horrible person, and one of Florida's first serial killers. I don't know what else to say besides this. Next week, I'm gonna post a video where me and one of my friends go ghost hunting at the park where his victims were found. If you want to see that, stay tuned. I'm looking forward to that, but I'm glad that Gerard got what was coming to him in the end. And as always, see you in the next video. Bye.